And time to tee up the latest in the Lindsay Clancy murder trial. I've got our legal analyst, Brian Buckmeyer, here with us. Brian, I know you've been on top of this for the past several days. No, everybody seems to be asking you about this case, but give us the latest today. Who is on the stand today and what they have to say?
So, Austin, it's another big day, the Lindsay Clancy case out of Massachusetts. We had a number of witnesses take the stand. We had a medical examiner just on the stand now and finishing up with some testimony. We also have the mental health counselor, and I think the big one also that other people are looking into, it was a state police officer, the state trooper who testified, and we got more of the same of what we're getting at. More observations of Lindsay Clancy, more of the evaluations of her. The defense trying to push back that this is a cold and calculated woman who committed a crime. The prosecution showing that she did get help, she refused that help, and she did this crime of murdering her 3 children intentionally.
Yeah, Brian, search is going crazy looking up the testimony of the ICU nurses. What did we actually hear from them today?
Yeah, so this is the ICU nurse who actually treated Lindsay Clancy the day that she is accused of killing her children and then trying to commit suicide herself. In terms of what we learned more about her ICU delirium and the restraints that she had held to her while she was still in that hospital. The officers surrounding her. Don't forget, she's still in custody at this point in time. But I think another big thing was also the capacity change, or the conversation around the capacity change for a healthcare proxy. The defense making a lot of leeway about there, a lot of hay about that, trying to suggest that her mental state at that time was clearly something that was not appropriate, and clearly she was not in her right mind.
Yeah, Brian, I'm going to need you to take me to law school for just a sec, because one of the biggest breakout searches today is for this term voir dire. What does it actually mean, and how is it actually relevant to this case?
So voir dire, or if you are south of the Mason-Dixon line, voir dire, directly means to see the truth. It's a Latin and French term. It happens in 2 different places. One where you're trying to pick a jury, you voir dire prospective jurors to select that jury. The other one I think that people are looking up and why it's so important now is there's a voir dire with the state trooper. And what that is outside the presence of the jury, you ask a witness about questions to see whether or not what they're going to testify in front of the jury is admissible.
I see. And Brian, we understand that Lindsay Clancy is actually suing someone today. What do we know about this suit, and who is she actually suing?
Yeah, so Lindsay Clancy and also her ex-husband, Patrick Clancy, are suing some of the nurse practitioners and doctors that gave her aid, saying that they wrongfully prescribed her medication, missed major red flags, and that caused her to have this postpartum psychosis, leading to the death of her children. We actually saw one of the practitioners on the stand, Dr. Tufts, who's a named defendant in in both of those 2 civil lawsuits.
Yeah, Brian, how are those doctors actually responding to this suit?
So in large part, this is a claim of negligence, saying that they missed the red flags, that they should have seen them. And they're responding by saying, no, we saw the flags, we saw the symptoms, we treated her as she should have. But as many people do, they did not take the medication, they didn't follow the procedures, and that's what led to these deaths.
Brian, I have to imagine this is not the last time we'll be chopping it up about this case. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you.